Welcome to a new podcast episode of Nina's Apothecary, this time an Advent edition. I am thrilled because I'm a huge fan of Advent calendars, even though Christmas isn't necessarily my favorite time of the year or winter in general. However, Advent calendars are something I truly love, so naturally I've come up with an Advent calendar for you. However, it's only valid 4 times a year, specifically on the 4 Advent Sundays. I'm especially delighted to have brought one of my absolute favorite companies on board, namely Spermidine. As you may know, I've been taking Spermidine since I discovered this product, and I am extremely enthusiastic about it. Therefore, I wanted to briefly explain to you what it is exactly. I often receive many messages asking if it's suitable for them or if it provides any benefits. However, I've noticed there's a lack of knowledge because it encompasses so much. It's a hot topic, and the name itself is quite unusual. So let's dive in. Spermidine is a polyamine present in almost every cell in our bodies. That indicates it's probably very important since it's found in every cell. The body doesn't do this randomly. It suggests significance. Unfortunately, like all crucial or even unimportant substances in our bodies, their intensity diminishes with age, usually starting around 25 years old. Our beneficial compounds, nutrients, essential polyamines, for example, regularly decrease in the body, but we can counteract this now. There's spermidine available for ingestion, derived from a natural form found in wheat germ. You know, wheat isn't exactly my favorite, and I'm not suggesting you start consuming lots of wheat. This extract is isolated from it, and it's not directly linked to wheat itself. Hence, for those with gluten intolerance or celiac disease, please consult your doctor. It depends on the severity, but generally, if you say, "I avoid wheat in my diet," you can take Spermidine without issues. Why do we age, actually? That might be the initial question to address. Mostly, it's about our cells. Most cells have a certain lifespan and eventually die. When we're young, we have the capacity for new cell production, replacing the old ones. However, as we age and pay attention, this starts around 25 years old, fewer old cells get replaced by new ones because the body loses some cellular flexibility. Of course, the majority of whether and when these cells can no longer be replaced with new ones depends on us, our lifestyle. Yet, we can support this process by, for example, taking Spermidine. What exactly does this mean? How can we influence it? You're probably rolling your eyes because you've heard this from me so many times, but it's simply the most crucial thing because fundamentally, we have everything in our hands. That's naturally good news, which I find very positive, but it's also bad news because we can't say, yes, it's the genes, that's it. We can, but it just doesn't reflect the truth. Genes and everything where we feel powerless represent only a small percentage, and most of it is within our control. How can we accelerate our aging processes? By having an unbalanced diet, consuming many processed foods, being inactive, drinking little water, getting insufficient sleep, smoking, exposure to environmental toxins, alcohol, and so on and so forth. And another significant aspect is that we constantly eat. This means our body, our intestines, our pancreas are always busy digesting. The food we give our body needs processing somewhere, and as a result, these organs never really get a break. However, in our daily lives, it's not easy to incorporate long fasting periods. We all know it would be beneficial, but we have to perform, work, perhaps have children, manage a household, have a spouse. We constantly need to be on point and can't afford to say, okay, I'm a bit tired for half of the day because I'm fasting for an extended period. Consequently, this Spermidine might potentially replace or mimic the fasting period. It persuades the body to believe it's in a fasting state, even though we're consuming food. How cool is that? Now, you're probably wondering, why is fasting so important in the first place? I also have an episode in my intermittent fasting podcast where I explain this in detail. In brief, imagine we're consistently introducing food and nutrients into our cells. The cell always takes the topmost to generate energy. Then, there might be leftovers or debris deeper down that remains there and doesn't improve over time. It might accumulate, age, mutate, and cause peculiarities in our bodies, potentially speeding up the aging process, leading to illnesses, cancer, dementia, among other issues. What fasting does is stop new intake because I'm not eating anything. However, the body still requires energy. Therefore, it delves deep into the cells and utilizes the debris to produce energy, a cleansing process that the body automatically performs. As I mentioned, this usually starts maybe at 16 hours, but probably at 20 hours. Now, it's not easy for us to go without eating for 20 hours. So here comes Spermidine into play. We can take Spermidine and it will induce autophagy, the process I just explained, which is the cell's detoxification. It will stimulate autophagy, potentially giving us a great chance to slow down aging processes a bit, reduce illnesses, decrease forgetfulness, and improve the immune system. Our body essentially no longer runs solely on the upper third, half, or 3/4 of our energy from our cells. It also utilizes the remaining debris that would typically stay in the body. Pretty cool, right? So, you've heard about it? There are millions of studies done on this. The original product, which I highly praise, was developed, researched, and discovered at the University of Graz in Graz, and most studies were conducted there. I have to admit, I was quite skeptical at the beginning due to the wheat component and other concerns. However, the longer I take it, the more I appreciate its benefits. Obviously, at my age, you don't notice dramatic changes, but you do feel a substantial difference in the immune system, tremendous energy, and significant improvement in physique. And perhaps you've noticed from every episode every week, whether it was about dry eyes, thyroid issues, hair loss, I've searched for studies related to this topic in Spermidine. And I've found thousands of double-blind studies everywhere, including there. These are significant because it means that neither the person conducting the study nor the participant being studied knows whether they're receiving the placebo or the actual Spermidine. That's always crucial because as human beings, our perceptions, expectations, and how we administer things can influence results significantly. How we convey things to the participants also impacts a lot, making it crucial that neither the doctor, the researcher, nor the participant knows whether the active substance is actually present. That's a sign of a good study. I have to be honest, I'm absolutely thrilled about it and I love it. I don't want to miss it in my daily routine because I love life, I love food, and occasionally enjoying a glass of wine. I don't want to dwell on thoughts like, I should have fasted now. Instead, I might take a bit more Spermidine if I indulge or eat more. That way, I have peace of mind and notice how beneficial it is for me. Now here comes the surprise for you because I've been granted permission by the company to provide you with a code in my Advent calendar. I'll link it all for you where you can make the purchase. The code is Advent23 and you'll get a 20% discount directly from the company. I'm genuinely excited about this and grateful for it. I can only say, stay as young as you are, detoxify, cleanse your cells as often as you can, because there will come a time when you'll think, I wish I had been healthier. I wish I had done this and that. I want to spare you from that regret because fortunately, we're fortunate to have many new and cool dietary supplements that simply support us in staying young, staying fit for as long as possible. If you have any questions about this, please write to me either on Instagram, Nina Milenk, or on TikTok, Frau Apotheker, or send me an email. You can find that on my website, karish.at. If you see me at the pharmacy, wherever it may be, approach me. I currently live in Rome, but I'm frequently in Austria, so please don't hesitate to strike up a conversation. I'm always delighted. And so, all I have left to say is thank you, stay young, and cherish yourself.